Jesus not only smashed things up in the temple, but also returned to teach those inside. One of the things he spoke about was the law. Jesus summed up the entire books of the law with 2 easy-to-remember ideas. Love God and love your neighbour as yourself. Simple and easy to remember, but not always easy in practice. Today, we're making heart-shaped biscuits. So first, you'll need to put 250 grams of butter or margarine and 260 grams of caster sugar in a bowl and mix them together until they start to combine. Next, we're going to add in 1 egg into our mix, and then we're going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence, then once we've added our vanilla essence, we're going to mix them together. Add 1 teaspoon of baking powder and half a teaspoon of salt, as well as 650 grams of plain flour. Now you're going to want to add them a bit at a time to the butter and sugar mix, and make sure you work it carefully so it turns into a dough. Now once you have your dough and it's going to start to look a bit like this, you're going to want to put it in the fridge for half an hour to cool. So we're popping ours in some tin foil so that it stays in the fridge and nice and clean. And it's going to want to be in the fridge for half an hour. Once your dough has chilled in the fridge, you're going to want to bring it out and we're going to start to roll it. Before you roll it, you might want to put some flour down on the table or even some grease-proof baking paper like is here, just to stop it from sticking to the table and crumbling when you try and get your biscuits up. Once you've got it rolled out, we're going to use our heart-shaped cutters to cut out our biscuits. Once you have started to cut your biscuits, you're going to want to grease a baking tray, or you can even just line it with some greaseproof or baking paper, just so your biscuits don't stick when they're cooking. Make sure when you're cutting out your biscuits that you get an even number, because we're going to be using them to make sandwiches. Once you've cut out all your hearts, you're going to want to put them in the oven at 180 degrees Celsius or gas mark 4 for around 10 minutes. Now we're going to make some buttercream for our filling. So we're going to need some butter and margarine. We're going to add them into a bowl, and we're going to add some icing sugar. This is easier to do by eye, so when you start mixing them together, you can see the consistency of the buttercream. You're going to want it to be quite nice and thick because it's going to hold the sandwiches together. So if it's a bit thin, then you might want to add some more icing sugar to it, because the more icing sugar you add, the thicker it'll get. So once you put them in the bowl, you're going to want to mix them together until they start to combine. Once we've got our finished buttercream, there we go, it should look like that. Once your buttercream is the right consistency, you're going to want to add some red or pink food colouring, and then we're going to make it into a nice pink or red colour for the inside of our hearts. I'm just going to mix that together until our buttercream starts to change colour. Now, once we've got our finished buttercream, we're going to use either a knife or you can pipe it if you want to put some buttercream on the bottom of our sandwich, so on one biscuit, and then we're going to put them together to make a sandwich. You could even add some jam if you wanted to in this bit. And with each biscuit that you ice, remember Jesus' words as you stick them together. Love God and love your neighbour. And once you have finished icing it, we're going to put the top of our biscuit on, and there we have our first sandwich. And then once you've got all your sandwiches filled, you can put some icing sugar and a bit of water together, mix them up until you get a nice runny consistency. It's going to be thick enough that it'll stay on the biscuits, but runny enough so that we can decorate with them. And drizzle them, or you can put loads of fun patterns, you can colour it, you can even put some sprinkles on the top. And then we will have some finished and delicious looking heart-shaped biscuits. Enjoy! As you enjoy them, share them, maybe virtually, with family and friends. You can talk together about the ways you can try to love God, love yourself, and love others.